Hey there, welcome back to Twin Oaks Farm Poultry. Thank you for joining us on YouTube. It's Melissa. I'm in the meat bird production barn, and today we're really just taking a look at the building that we have our Cornish Rock cross meat chickens in, and giving kind of a recap on this week and update on the flock that's here now. This is actually a flock that will finish production for the first half of 2023 for us here at Twin Oaks Farm. So we're excited to be getting through the first half of the year. We've had Cornish Rock cross meat chickens here in production since about January 11th. So our first flocks of this year, we started in a different building and finished in a different building. And then as it warmed up slightly, we still had some cold weather, but as it got into like March, then we got to really put flocks in this building for the first time. We used this building, I believe we used it some late 2022, but to actually start a flock in this building and grow it out in here and finish it here, that was all this year. So I also want to shout out again to three viewers. My Turbo Stang, I don't know your name, but My Turbo Stang is the handle that I've interacted with you on YouTube, communication here. And Steve S. and Bill S. I've learned a lot from these three viewers this week. And it's just always interesting to me to know the different ways that people raise these birds and feed these birds. Just learning new information. So I've learned a lot. They approach the feed regimen differently than we do. We're very satisfied with the complete feed that we buy. It is corn and soy based. We like the flavor that our birds come out with as a finished product in the poultry, and it's worked really well for us. We're very satisfied with it, but I've enjoyed learning about different ingredients and different feed routines that those folks are using. So keep the information coming and keep educating me, because I love to hear about it. You never know when you might need an alternative or need more information. So that just gives me more tools in the tool shed to work with as we're trying to become better and more efficient at raising these birds. And also, I believe Steve S. was really helping fill me in on current experience he's having with the red meat birds. So I know them as Freedom Rangers, and we've talked about trying to raise those. We are going to keep our Cornish Rock crossbirds on a 6-week grow out regimen. Most people that are raising, especially flocks for themselves, for their own use, for household use meat, they prefer probably like the 8-week grow out schedule, but we're going to stick with this 6-week. It works well when you're trying to produce commercially. We have found that it's a good convergence point for us, where we get to maximize and realize the growth potential, but we also minimize the risk of mortality in the finish phase of our production. So that's why we do that. But still loving to learn that and getting information about the red meat birds, which, like I said, I call the Freedom Rangers. Maybe that's something we can try, but they grow out longer, so that'd be twice as long a process for us, because as far as I know, they take about 12 weeks, and I believe end up finishing about the same weight. So we'll see. And just have learned a lot. So thanks, guys, for sharing. Keep up the good work with the flocks you have and what you're doing, and keep the communication going, because I love to learn from you. So want to turn the camera around, look at this building, look at the birds, and then kind of recap the week, and we're gonna wrap it up. I'm tired. My family's tired. It's been a long week. You know, we work off the farm, and then there's another farm operation with my husband's family, and we've got this going, and we had 500 birds the start of the week. Meat birds, we're down to 300 meat birds. We've got about 35 egg layers. So we've had long days every day this week, and we're trying to put together a graduation party tomorrow. So we homeschool our 3 sons. Actually, 2 are now graduated from high school, and 1 is still in high school. So it's just a busy season, but it's an abundantly blessed busy season. But we'll flip the camera around and just quick wrap things up here, try to. So anyway, the deal with this building is it's 30 foot by 30 foot. My husband and sons actually built it themselves, and the problem we were trying to solve was keeping birds cooler in the summer. And then as it turns out, we couldn't get the processing dates we wanted in July and August, so we don't have to deal with that heat with meat birds after all. But the goal with this building was to solve that problem, to deal with mitigating heat in the summertime. And so what we wanted was to be able to open up all the four sides of it. And that's why we have the doorways that we do. There's a set of carriage doors right there too. They're not open in here. So the birds can go out. We've put these temporary panels in the sides because we actually have a bobcat that frequents the area, definitely within a half mile of our place. So, and we've lost egg production birds to predators. We believe a weasel earlier this spring. So we can't take chances. We have thousands of dollars invested in our meat bird production operation. We estimated our total production cost for 2023 at $25,000 to produce the poultry out of the flocks that we're raising, and that's accounting for 1,300, and that was actually based on accounting for 1,500 meat birds. We're not going to go, I don't think we're going to go quite to 1,500. We committed to 1,350, and that's probably what we'll do for the year. So we'll be a little less than that cost estimate. But anyway, that's what I mean when I say we have thousands of dollars invested in production, just on production costs like chicks, feed, bedding, electricity, water, and processing. So that's kind of our production costs on that for the whole year. Trying to show you some of the behavior there of those birds. So these birds, so the building, we wanted to be able to mitigate heat, so we knew if we could open up all four sides, and we're in a space that is relatively shaded on two sides, that we could get a lot of air moving through here, and that's what we want. And that also allows for the ventilation where we're not getting the ammonia smell. Literally, I had a poultry customer here a few days ago, and we were standing, I'll move over here. We were basically standing here looking out the east doors, and the friend of mine, she says, I can't believe I'm standing in front of 500 birds and what I smell is honeysuckle. So we've got some honeysuckle that grows out there, out beyond the wood line, the tree line. And even with, at that time there was 500 birds in here, even with 500 birds in here, the ammonia smell was not overwhelming, was not even very noticeable over the natural smells in the environment around us that are more pleasant. So I took that as a big compliment. So that this building has accomplished what we wanted to accomplish. We wanted good ventilation. We didn't want the ammonia smell building up and the fumes building up, and we wanted to try to keep the birds cool, and we've got enough cross movement of air that we can really work on doing that. So we do have some finishing touches to put on the barn, but it is what it is. It's 30 by 30. It was sized for 500 birds. If we have the whole barn, we've put some feed storage there on that end, so they basically have 20 by 30, but at any rate, it's working like we wanted it to. So now it's not very efficient to heat it up, so it was very hard for us when we had flocks in here and we had temperatures really drop. It was very difficult, but it'd be very difficult anywhere. So we have those things to work out as we go forward, but we're very pleased with how the building has turned out. And we do have, I doubt you can tell much of this from here, but, well, actually we can step over here. We do have two sheds attached to this building, and this, this overhang here. So this is a shed here where a freezer house is, and this is a shed here that we're going to button up and make it sealed up and have like an office in there. So these birds will be 3 weeks old in a few days. Their process date is already set. I believe it's the last Monday in June. I can tell you that. I'm not sure which date it is, but I know it's the last Monday in June. And then we will not have more meat birds until August 23rd. So we're looking forward to that break. But these are doing real well. We started out with about 304, I believe, was in the boxes from the hatchery, Mount Healthy Hatchery, around Cincinnati, Ohio. And I think we've lost maybe about 7 of these. A couple of them were runts, and you could kind of tell when they came in, they didn't look quite as strong, and we might lose them. Also, these birds, so almost 3 weeks old, they were in a space about a third the size of this. We had them in a brooder that was basically this part of the building, and we had a short wall like right here, and we took it down, and so that let them have this whole space. They had grown out of 10 by 20 in 2 weeks, and they need the whole space. But then the stocking density in this whole space is really good. They're not going to be crowded at all through their grow out, and we're going to keep it. That behavior cracks me up. They posture for like a second and a half at each other, and then they move on, and they stay that way until about 5.5 weeks old. And then sometimes the males become a little more aggressive about that posturing, and they start to grab each other's comb and waddles, and so that becomes an issue, which I've said is a reason we don't always keep them past 6 weeks. So anyway, so we had taken up all of the baby feed trays and all the baby waters. We had taken them up, cleaned them up. You can see I've got a bunch still over there by the doorway cleaned up. But then when we gave them the big bird feeders and waters, when they all want to go eat at the same time, they were really crowding each other. So we said, to heck with it. We'll just put the baby trays back in and let them have those too. We need to invest in more feeders and waters, but again, I mean, that's just more overhead that we keep having to get. So anyway, so that's what's going on with this flock, but they're going to finish out really nice. We can use a fan if we want. We can get a bigger fan if we want, or we can use our kind of homemade heat mitigation measures and just cool them down with ice blocks and cold water. But we're going to get this rebedded today so that we keep the bedding really nice. Like I said, we lost about 7, but this flock is doing really well. I do have, I'd say, 2 more in here that I'm not going to be able to find in the camera frame, but 2 more in here that I kind of questionable. They look like maybe they're runts, maybe not going to make it. So, but anyway, overall, they're doing really well. So that's what's going on here. And this week was just really busy because we had to be at the processor Thursday, and we were trying to get a communication out to all of our people on our poultry contact list, and we finally got that done. I just finished that up actually this morning, and we had some poultry pickups left from the meat that we had just got recently in the last flock. So that all kind of finished up this week. So it's been a good week, but it's been a long week, and we're tired, but we got to get this graduation party put together for tomorrow. And it's a small, very small affair, but our middle son has graduated high school and also earned an associate degree while he was in high school, and he requested just a very small party of really closest family. So anyway, so we got to get that put together, and we're going to have a nice time doing that tomorrow, and we're going to finish this flock of birds, and then take a little break in July and August from the Cornish Rock Cross meat chickens. So I hope that y'all have a great day and have a great weekend, and we'll load another video up on Monday, and maybe we'll look at some other things around our place. So thanks a lot. We appreciate y'all. Have a great day.